And welcome to all the cards on the table. My name's Chloe and I work with astrology, card divination and energy work. As you can see, my hands are moving around now. This is not me doing this. This is the energies that flow through my body. They help bring energy clearing and energy healing and comprehension to the readings. So this reading will be about when Mercury goes direct on the 18th of January 2023. I'll be working through all the 12 rising signs. Your rising sign is the first house in your natal chart. And I'll be breaking down the astrology based on your rising sign. I'll also be pulling 3 tarot cards and potentially a numerology card. And the first tarot card will be the energies of the Mercury retrograde. The second card will be when Mercury goes direct. And the third card will be how we integrate and move forward with that energy and with everything that we've learned. So this is Mercury's going direct on a Wednesday, and this is Mercury's day. As you can see here, I've got an orange here. Mercury appreciates oranges as a gift of devotion. I also have a road opener candle, which I'm going to light for Mercury today now. And Mercury helps us facilitate connecting the dots of information and knowledge, but is also the god of travel and commerce, and helps, if you want to go and make an offering to Mercury, you can leave an orange at a crossroads. It's why I've got the 2 selenite, one stick and one shaped as a knife here in a cross position to and Mercury helps us open up all the possible directions. And the reason why the knife is there is because Mars is involved in this Mercury retrograde and direct space. They both will be at 8 degrees, Mars at Gemini and Mercury in Capricorn. Mercury rules Gemini, which is why Mars is being brought into this. Mercury is the winged messenger. Mercury was the only god that was able to travel to the underworld, which means that he can travel through many different spaces, many different worlds, many different dimensions. All the Mercury retrogrades will be happening in Earth signs in 2023. This is helping us ground down and stabilize how we communicate in a tangible, practical way, rethinking the possibilities of connection and circulation of thought and information. How do you connect the dots? And how does that show up in the 3D world? Mercury, as I said, is the messenger between worlds and dimensions. With the retrograde, we have been reevaluating the dots and how we travel between them. This is, as I said, opening up new spaces and new ways of thinking. And that can also bring in galactic perspectives, as well as how we talk to one another, how we talk to ourselves in a more day-to-day basis. But I do feel like it's opening up space to think differently and think bigger. And during this revision period, we've had the space to either firm things up. You know, revision, you're going over something. That's what a retrograde is. You're redoing something. You're finding holes in your knowledge and, as I said, firming them up. Or we've been letting things go, the things that don't serve us, the things that don't quite work, and creating space for the things that do. In Capricorn, Mercury has been asked to focus on what's integral long term. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. This is a sense of maturity, long term goals in the physical. The Capricorn is the final earth sign. It's the collective earth sign. It's bringing together everything we've learned and putting it into the 3D reality. But in terms of the long term, it's not for immediate short results. This is helping us put into practices that will serve our mind, body and spirit for the long term. And also in Capricorn, because it's ruled by Saturn, it's helping letting go of what's wasting our time. Saturn is linked to time, and that in the sense that time has a boundary in a linear sense. Time is also a spiral and everything all at once, but what we're dealing with here is this very tangible linear direction and also karma and responsibility and cause and effect. And this Mercury retrograde is really helping ground down what it is that seems superfluous. There's a seriousness to Saturn. It's not like the Gemini vibration of collecting information for the pure joy of it. There's definitely there's a coolness to Saturn that's but with Capricorn is a yin sign, which is about receptivity. So Mercury going retrograde in this energy, and it's cardinal energy, so it's helping us start new things. But during this retrograde, we've been in this space of receiving and downloading and seeing what bubbles up rather than taking direct action. So when Mercury goes retrograde in Taurus, we will be able, which is ruled by Venus, we will be able to apply the collective thinking that we've had during Capricorn in an embodied, desired way. Venus is all about harmony, doing the things that bring you pleasure, and Taurus is about the body, your physical senses. It's really helping us be able, as I said, embody the things that we're planning and thinking about and revisiting and wanting to put into practice. So Mercury entered its shadow period on the 12th of December, and it went retrograde on the 29th of December. Those of you might have been finding that your New Year's resolutions haven't quite got off the ground. We've also had Mars retrograde, which will be impacting that. But now when Mercury goes direct, Mars is direct, and there's this ability to move forward and put those plans into place, which I really enjoy. We have an aspect between Mercury and Saturn, and we look to Saturn because it rules Capricorn, and it's a semi-square. A semi-square is half a square, so square aspects involve friction, a butting of heads, a bit of conflict, but that friction is needed to manifest things in the 3D world. With a semi-square, it's more of a subtle friction. It's noticing those things that might not help us quite feel quite right, but these subtleties are highlighting that even though Mercury is going direct, you can still try again, and it doesn't mean that all hope is lost. It's really asking you to hold on to hope and perspective, because not only is it half a square, but it's heading on its way to a sextile, which is an aspect of Venus, which is about creating harmony and connection. And Venus very much appreciates devotion and really helping us find that faith in our 3D reality, because there's a lot of things that might shake our hope. And I feel that this aspect, especially as it's linked to Saturn, about bringing integrity down into the 3D from the Aquarius collective mental thoughts energy, is really going to facilitate Mercury going direct. Don't give up is the main message of this. Mercury, as I said, rules Gemini, where Mars has just gone direct at 8 degrees. They're both at 8 degrees when Mercury goes direct. And Mercury is inconjunct Mars, and an inconjunct aspect is there's friction there. There's Gemini and Capricorn don't have any of the traditional characteristics that have things in common. Gemini is an air sign, Capricorn is an earth sign. Gemini is a mutable sign, Capricorn is a cardinal sign. So mutable is very changeable, cardinal likes to start things. Capricorn is a yin energy, a night energy, a feminine energy. Gemini is a yang energy, a day energy, a masculine energy. As I said, with Capricorn, it's about sitting and receiving and moving in flow. And yang day energy is very direct. It's very forthright, and so these two planets don't have a lot in common. It's like spinning lots of different plates that are all shaped differently, and pardon me. and those plates are in different rooms and you're having to keep them all upright. There may be friction and conflict, but the inconjunct helps us see from completely different perspectives. And although that may rub us up the wrong way, because we are often drawn to energies that mirror us and reflect back to us who we are. We like to feel seen. You have to realize that every one of us is a part of us, and every way of thinking and doing are all things that we've done in many different lifetimes. And being able to find perspective and find new ways of looking at things. My practice is very much of trying to integrate the whole chart. The more we integrate those aspects of ourselves, the more that we free up space to let the universe in and let abundance in and opportunities in. That this inconjunct, although creating friction, is helping us contemplate different things and move forward in different ways. We've got Mars going direct in Gemini. Gemini, as I said, likes to collect information. And Mars is about how we put things into action, our motivation, our passion. It can also be conflict. I like to look at Mars as the spiritual warrior. Mars likes to keep moving. Mars likes to have a purpose. So giving Mars something other than battle and fighting for fighting's sake, giving it a purpose can help raise the vibrational level of Mars. And as I said, Mars is in Gemini, how we collect information and how we act on it. Gemini is about duality. It's about holding space for lots of different things. There may have been a lot of conflict and a lot of barbed words going on, but now that Mars is direct, there's more a sense of purpose, and hopefully we've learned to accept that other people have different views, and that doesn't diminish their space and who they are. And we don't need to put conflict energy into that because it limits us. And there's a very big practice about being present in the moment. It's in many different modalities and religions, and it's because if you move out of the space of expectation, you are in fact opening yourself up to the quantum field, the multiple possibilities, all the different roads and networks that you could go along, and Mercury's really going to enjoy that. Of just really being incredibly present with where you're at rather than reacting from past experiences. Do I have anything else to say? Oh yeah, so Mercury will also be trining the North Node where we're headed. That unknown space that we should be striving for, and sextiling the South Node, and that's helping bring harmony about letting go that which has come about while we've had the South Node in Scorpio. Really is under releasing things that haven't served us, and creating opportunity and abundance with where we're headed. We also have a square with Mercury with Jupiter and Chiron in Aries. So a square is an aspect of Mars. As I said, it brings friction, but that's helping us manifest in the 3D world. I have quite a lot of squares in my chart. I can certainly say that I've experienced all the vibrational levels of a square. This is why I try and practice raising that energy up. So helping the parties that are in the square communicate with each other and facilitate one another. So we have Jupiter bringing wisdom to our sense of self, coming into a conjunction with Chiron, which is the wounded healer of where our sense of self has been hurt and how we can transmute that to help heal ourselves and those around us and the collective at large. And this is in a square with Mercury. So what we've been planning and thinking about in Capricorn is going to help be manifest through our individual sense of self, which will have long-term collective benefits. I personally believe that doing the inner work helps raise the collective consciousness, even if we're not necessarily doing big things in the outside world to stop the chaos. We can help navigate the chaos within, because the more of us do that, the less chaos comes about in the world. Right. So I'm going to move on to pulling the cards, and I hope that summary made sense. And yeah, next up we will have Capricorn. I just realized as I paused the video about to go on to the pulling the cards that I'd missed an important aspect of this Mercury going direct. On the same day, on the 18th, the Sun will be conjunct Pluto. So the Sun will be bringing to light what we need to transform, or some of the ugliness, especially in the outside world. and this will be having an influence on Mercury. So this Mercury going direct is going to receive this powerful magnetic transformative energy linked with the brightness, the illumination of the sun, our sense of who we are, our purpose. That energy is going to feed into Mercury as it moves forward and then we'll cross over Pluto. And we're going to have that energy feeding into this direct motion with what sort of resolutions and ideas that we've come up with and ways we want to think and navigate the world is really going to have this amazing, very powerful energy. And that reminded me, I wanted to read the Sabian symbol. So this is a screen of prophecy. Based on the Sabian symbols, and for each degree in each zodiac sign there is a piece of writing that was channeled by a psychic, I think in the 1920s. So we round up for the Sabian symbols, and so we look at Capricorn 9, an angel carrying a harp, keyword attunement, theme inspiration. This symbol speaks to the cosmic symphony behind all manifestation and to the fact that the truly inspired individual recognizes no limitations. The image of an angel carrying a harp suggests a sympathetic attunement to spiritual source, a purity of heart, and a natural inclination to seek the highest good in any situation. On a practical level, this image alludes to divine protection, a charmed life, and the ability to maintain a positive and optimistic attitude in even the most trying situations. Positive at its highest, this symbol represents joy and self-fulfillment through inspiring others to achieve their hopes and dreams. Negative, self-deception or delusions of power and omnipotence. Sorry, omnipotent. No, that's not coming. I'm terrible with long words sometimes. Today, the accent is on healing and harmony. You may feel serene, protected, and safe from all harm today. Opportunity. Your greatest advantage lies in tuning into what others need for encouragement and inspiring them to move forward. Make peace today. Guard against developing a messiah complex or trying to save the world and everyone in it from the consequences of their own actions and the experiences they need in order to grow. Healing, harmony, accord, peace, composure, serenity, tranquility, inspiration, encouragement, facilitation, protection. What I love about this is in the myths, Apollo, who was the sun god, let Hermes, who is the Greek name for Mercury, let him have his lyre, and a lyre is a smaller version of a harp. And I love this bringing in this sense of attunement to spiritual source, helping us really connect to the Capricorn energy that is this warmth, grandmother energy, this knowing, this long-term knowing, understanding of the cycles, this sense of wisdom and objectiveness, because it's also ruled by Saturn, and helping us reach our dreams. Where was the bit? Oh, accent on healing and harmony. A lot of the earth signs are linked to healing in the physical sense. And I like how that's coming through to help give us some protection, and that our words and the things that we've planned are for long-term healing. And asking us to make peace when we've got Mars in Gemini, helping transmute that energy to serving our highest good in any situation. There was something else that I really wanted to pick up on. That's it. Stop trying to save the world and everyone in it. Even though this is a collective energy, it's about really focusing on the individual and how that ripples across taking care of you and your actions and the consequences of your actions, rather than focusing on the consequences of others' actions, because they need to take ownership and autonomy of their own doing. And spending a lot of time overthinking about other people is taking up space for you to fully bloom and be yourself and be in more harmony and flow state, and then helping bring about love and compassion and harmony that will, as a consequence of you focusing inward, will have that ripple effect on others. And in particular, letting people grow for themselves rather than mothering people. I feel like that's really important, just in general. Anyway, I'll get back to doing the readings. Capricorn rising. So Gemini's been going retrograde in your first house. This is your house of your appearance. This is the house of your character, how other people see you. It's a very important house in Hellenistic astrology. It's the lens in which your sun sort of operates in the world. It's your house. It's always going to be connected to you rather than anything exterior. And it's deeply, deeply personal. So I'm just going to keep talking a little bit longer, and because sometimes the cards, even though they come out in order, they may not want to be in that order. We also have, so you're going to be having revisited your sort of long-term commitments and nourishment to yourself. And going direct, being able to, this is particularly relevant, I guess, with the new year of that in the 6th house, which is habits, of bringing in how you take care of yourself. So that card sort of fell out, but it fell out with a few, so I wasn't sure if it was meant for it, but the energies clearly wanted that one to come out. It's the 10 of Wands. We have, so, you know, because it's Mercury, we look to what houses Mercury rules, and Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. And you have Gemini in your 6th house. So you've had Mars going direct through there, retrograde through there. And as I was saying, that and the 1st and the 6th house, quite important for New Year's resolutions, because it's about health and routines and work. You know, you have to do the work in order for something to become a routine. It's also, you know, the things that you have to do in order to survive. And we have Virgo in the 9th house, which is trining your Ascendant and trining Mercury. So that's about personal philosophies, how you map out the wider complexity of the world. And it's linked to God and religion, but as I said, personal philosophies that can come in any form, linked to higher education and foreign travel. It's that exploration of away from your local community to help give you bigger perspectives, which you can then bring into your day-to-day. So the cards that came up were the Knight of Swords. Let's see, are they moving these around? Okay, so the card that we've got is the 10 of Wands. I feel like this is a combination of both the Mercury retrograde and the Mars retrograde in your 1st and 6th. So this is about having a lot of burden. This may have and sort of revisiting what it is that you, which of the ones do you want to keep on carrying. Tens, even though they're can be quite intense energy, quite oppressive energy, that this is a period that is now past. So it's you may have been feeling burnt out with having both of these retrogrades. You physically may have been a little drained. There may have been mishaps and miscommunications. And I really like that we've got the three of Wands, which is all about, the threes are very powerful. This is about having mastery over the particular suit that they fall in. And this is about having done the work laid down the groundwork. You're now observing your ships going out, and seeing what they will then bring back into you. But this is very much a very powerful card of somebody who knows what they're doing and able to achieve what they're going to do. This card symbolizes inner balance, that and it allows you to feel more optimistic because you've created that space. You're able to feel positive about the new endeavors that you're going to set forward on, and how you are committed and what you want to commit to. I really like this card in this position. This is wonderful. I also like that it's sort of, even though we're dealing with earth and air energy, there's a fair amount of wands here. It's about reigniting that spark within you, and where that may take you. And then we have the Knight of Swords. So this is about charging forth with new ideas. Very much, even though this is a Mercury retrograde, because Mars is ruled currently by Mercury's actions. Mercury's going to be feeding into Mars's space, and how there's going to be a mental clarity. We also have Mercury's linked to communication and ideas and knowledge, that having gathered having worked out what burdens you want to release yourself on, and moving past that period, and really coming into a space of optimism and peace, and being able to acknowledge that you know what you're doing, and you have a sense of authority, that you're going to be able to rush out and take on new adventures that are based in what you've been working through. You know, it's really interesting moving from the 10 of Wands to the Knight of Swords. You know, this is a very heavy energy, drained energy, and there's so much vitality in the Knight of Swords. There's, you know, his horse has wings in this deck. You know, you're flying high with some mental clarity, and being able to bring new ideas and new inspirations into, it may crop up in your 9th house, and but it's all feeding back into your first, and who you think you are and how you appear to other people. There's a real dynamic nature of what's going on here, and a swiftness, having moved from the 10 of Wands. I really hope this helps, Capricorn. Be well until we meet again. Sorry, I'm used to just using one deck, and I really wanted to pull like an overall picture card from this numerology deck to see what comes up as the sort of the main theme for Capricorn rising. Nice. Yeah, so I really feel that this energy means you're not taking care of yourself, means you're taking too much on and not prioritizing this energy. And you're ruled by Saturn, so yeah, you're reinstating that sense of internal authority and helping release when the Sun conjuncts Pluto. And this is, to get to this space, you do have to have self-discipline. You know, this often takes hard work to get to that. As again, it's that revisiting, that going over, that really grounding in what you know is true and certain, and how to then put the things together in order to have a sense of mastery. And I love that. And it makes me not think of the potentially negative connotations of Fool's Rush in with the Knight of Swords. I like that there's more of an energetic freedom to be spontaneous with this self-discipline, because you've put in that work of grounding, putting in the habits. That it's not saying shake off habits while being spontaneous. It's about having that firm foundation. You are then able to have a lightness to your being that will open up new opportunities. Sagittarius rising. How are you doing, Sag? So this retrograde has been in your second house of your income, your possessions, your values, the way you manifest. And having Capricorn in the second house, there's a long-term stability there, but things take time to mature, so it may have taken a while to get to this point, this Mercury retrograde with Pluto still in Capricorn. We might not, I'd have to check again. Yeah, because Pluto goes into Pisces soon. Anyway, we're in the last degrees of Capricorn, so you're really going through some deep transformation about what it is you care about. What things do you care about? And it's not just the physical things, it's what you've accumulated in your lifetime. That can be knowledge, that can be things, that can be anything that you've put sort of time and effort into that you value. So I really like that this Mercury retrograde is helping you revisit and understand, renew, let go, move forward, revise what it is that you really care about and how you communicate that to yourself and to the people around you. What are those long-term values that you want to implement, and what pathways you want to open up for yourself. During this time. We also have, so because this is linked to Mercury, we look to what houses, what signs and what signs, sorry, words. So Mercury's still currently direct, so sometimes my words have really got themselves in a tangle. That's interesting, Sag. I'm pretty sure we got the Three of Swords in that Mars retrograde. I'd have to double check that. So we have Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, and yeah, we did get that Three of Swords, I remember now. And Gemini is in your 7th house. That's the house of wow, that just flew out. That's the 10 of Cups. So we're going from the Three of Swords to the 10 of Cups. That's quite lovely. So the 7th house is your house of intimate relationships. That can be business, friendship, or on a relationship basis. And Mercury also rules your 10th house of sense of life purpose, your career, how the big outside world sees you. So we have, as I said, Mercury in the 2nd house. And so it may come, when Mercury goes direct, you may see changes also come up in your 7th house, where Mars has just gone direct, and in your 10th house, which is squaring your Ascendant. So in Virgo. So you, as I said, you may have been working through these things with Mars. Oh, there we go. So the King of Pentacles just came out. So it feels like, so my hands are just moving over my heart chakra right now. So we've got this link into the 7th house with Mars going direct there, and Mars and Mercury are feeding energy into each other when Mercury goes direct. So everything that we've learnt in the 7th house, it feels like, so you've moved through and you're clearing this heartache, this frustration. It also may have been that linking to the Mercury retrograde about cutting things that didn't serve your heart's purpose. When we operate from a heart space, we produce such a powerful vibration, and that's a really important thing to bring into the 2nd house. and the lessons that you've potentially been learning in the seventh house about what it is that you value and what is it that you care about and how you interact with your one-to-one relationships. They can often be great mirrors for us to help reveal that which may be hidden, or that which may frustrate us, and then we use that energy to look within ourselves to work out what it is that we care about and what is it that we're going to hold on to. I feel like with this energy, this is releasing and of the swords that may have caused your heart pain, or being aware of what causes your heart pain, and making your mind up to not follow down those paths again or entertain those thoughts, because it's limiting your sense of value and your ability to manifest in the world. So we've got some really lovely positive cards that's coming up for Mercury going direct. Let's see which. Oh, okay, they wanted that way round. So we've got the King of Pentacles. This is big. This is, I would say, Capricorn energy. This is Saturn. This very logical, very grounded, practical energy that's coming through with that Mercury going direct, that you are in command of your space, you are holding court, but you're not seeking acknowledgement and authority from other people. You are grounded, you know you're a success. And that's such powerful manifestation energy, is particularly because Capricorn is an earth sign, showing that long-term stability is coming about from the decisions that you've been making during this Mercury retrograde. The card was also drawing me to this ox head, this bull head. I feel that when we get a Mercury retrograde in Taurus, that this is going to help. And Taurus is in your 6th house, which is sort of long-term habits and routines and work. Like, it's really helping you embody that sense of success in your daily life. And we have the 10 of Cups. This is an incredibly positive card. We could link it into the relationships that you're going to form are going to be more harmonious to where you're at and who you are, and give you more value. Or at least not this energy, not causing pain, but matching where you're at with this King of Pentacles. The 10 of Cups is also about community and having support and strength, and like really, I guess with the 10th house energy and 7th house energy, it's about facilitating your one-to-one relationships and how they can have a positive impact on your career, and just you're not having to worry about those relationships, and giving you the space to be that King of Pentacles, and bring strength into your sense of purpose of who you are and where you're headed and your worldview. And now let's do an overall message from this numerology deck. I want to go back and check that Mars going direct video for you, Sag. I might leave. So we've got the effort card. Yeah, it feels like there's an ease. So the effort card has gone in reverse. That it's helping this energy, this stuck energy of where things are hard work. You know, even though you've got the King of Pentacles, the work has been done. I feel like this is energy that other people have given you, but you've been the King of Pentacles for a long time. It's just not getting recognized, And that's in fact impacting how you see yourself as well, because obviously it's best to try and work from a space where you don't seek others' validation. But you know, the Three of Swords is grief and pain that's really, it's unavoidable. And I feel that there's real strength there, that the effort doesn't, things won't feel hard to do. I really hope that helps, Sag. Scorpio rising. How are you doing, Scorpio? So this Mercury retrograde has been happening in your third house. This is the things that you do on a daily basis, the places that you go on a daily basis. It's short distance travel. It's not mastery education, so it's like taking a small course or going back to school for a little bit, but you know, maybe learning something new. This is also, it's also the people that you meet on a day-to-day basis, but this is also the house, traditionally the house of the goddess, and that is because this is the house of day-to-day rituals. You're bringing in the influence of the ninth into the third house, applying your bigger philosophies into your day-to-day habits and actions that you take on a regular basis. We also have, so Gemini, Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo. Now Gemini is in your 8th house. This is other people's resources. This can be time, money and energy. This is the house of inheritance, be that on a 3D level or a cosmic level or past life level. It's also the house of death, but you know, that only happens to us once in a lifetime, so it's not always super prominent in these readings. But the other side of death is that idea of transformation and cycles of releasing this physical body that arguably belongs to Mother Earth, and our spirit moving on to the next. So it's other people's resources, as in the Great Mother. This also can be a place where you're relying on the outside world for assistance. This could be taking out a mortgage, a loan, any kind of contracts that aren't intimate contracts on a one-to-one basis. And we have Gemini ruling, sorry, I keep saying that, Mercury ruling Virgo, which is your 11th house of community. It's your alliances, it's your friends, it's also the place of hopes and wishes, but it's the community that you want to be involved in. It's like-minded people. So the impact of this retrograde that's happening in your sort of day-to-day business, and you may have been revisiting what sort of daily practices you want to have, and how you want to be in your day-to-day. I'm just going to wait a second to see if that's where they want to be, because sometimes they move around. So we pulled the 8 of Cups for Mercury's retrograde period. Feels like you've been on an emotional journey. So this will have been sextiling your Ascendant. And a sextile is an aspect of Venus, an aspect of bringing things together, an aspect of harmony. And I feel that during this retrograde, you may have been reevaluating some emotional states linked into your, because we've got this sextile to your, which is, and Scorpio is a water sign, linking into your emotional responses in your body, and how that affects your day to day, and reevaluating and moving on and going on a spiritual journey, really, because the figure is about to climb a mountain. So you've climbed that mountain. You're evaluating who you are from a different perspective and how you want to be in the world. We also pulled for Mercury going direct, the Ace of Pentacles, which is a wonderful thing. And I like that it's Pentacles for the Earth sign. So Pentacles, Aces represent like a new start, a new beginning, and they hold the energy of the whole suit. It's a new adventure, and it's a new adventure on the physical plane, and how you operate in the world. It can also be about bringing in a new sense of how you work and how you operate, and I feel with this coming up in your third house, it's about how you move around in your day to day, and perhaps there'll be an opportunity to take a short course that may help facilitate your wishes, and entering in a community, and being part of a community. It's the Ace of Pentacles it could be a new way of looking at an old way of doing work, and helping give you new life, new energy, this grounded, beautiful, nourishing space that the Ace of Pentacles is bringing through. On the traditional Rider-Waite, there's usually a gateway, and I always feel that that's a link into new earth, or certainly a new perspective and a new way of doing something in whatever area of your life that's coming up. And the final card that we get is the Judgment card. And the Judgment's all about resurrection. The Judgment's about transformation and moving and coming out. Is similar to the Death card of letting go, but this is about, rather than letting go, seeing new aspects of yourself, seeing yourself from another space, another dimension, bringing in, and again, that could be linked to the 8th house, where you've had Mars go direct, of bringing in that support from the outside world, and that's going to help transform your day to day. And that has a ripple effect in all areas of our lives, because the day to day is incredibly important. And also facilitating community, and what your hopes and wishes are for that. So you may see a shift and change in those areas of your life. So my hands are just they're beating over my heart chakra right now. It's creating movement in order to bring in something new. Now I just wanted to pull an overall card. Well, that card came up before. Self-discipline. I feel, because as I said, that sextile to your ascendant, and the water, that watery element, and that's helping move forward about how your emotions control where you are, and how you can then operate on a day-to-day, bringing in deep transformation with the Judgment card. So I'll just hold these all up for you. We have the Ace there. I hope that helps, Scorpio. Libra rising. How are you doing, Libra? So this retrograde has been happening in your 4th house. This is the house of private life, your home, your roots, your foundations, the ancestors. So you will have been revisiting what sort of long-term establishment, like what things you want to establish in the long term in your home life, in your private life, what goals you want to set yourself, how you want to be responsible in that area of your life, and help facilitate your growth. This will be squaring your ascendant, and a square is a Mars action, so it might have been that there's been miscommunications. You might have seen some friction in that way to yourself and how people see you. But this is, if this friction or conflict does come up in that way, that's helping you, would have helped you sort of reevaluate and go over even more what you want to do in your fourth house. It's also a great way of manifesting and helping bring things into a great way of manifesting, and got the Nine of Pentacles, bring things into solid form, and helping use that power of Mercury to really set good intentions for yourself and moving forward. And it may be that you've been sort of trying to implement these things in the things that you do in your private life, and not quite being able to move forward yet, but now with this oh, that's a few too many. Let's see if any of them come up. Now that Mercury's going direct, there's going to be just an ease in moving forward with applying these, also with Mars going direct as well. So because it's Mercury, we look to, I just got a nice, we've got the Eight of Wands, which is the speed card. We look to where Mercury is, what signs Mercury rules and what houses they fall in, because you may see things come up in those areas of your life that are reflected in the work that you've been doing in Capricorn. So Gemini is your 9th house. That's your house of personal beliefs, big philosophies. It's about mastery in education. It's about long distance travel, but like immersing yourself in a culture that is not familiar to you or you didn't grow up with. But it's very much your worldview and being able to bring in bigger perspectives, wider perspectives, and in order to help facilitate your day-to-day and just bring more space and expansiveness. We've had Mars retrograde there, and it may have felt that the information that you've been absorbing that's linked to those aspects of your life may have been in conflict, or there may have been some frustration, and you've been working out what motivates you to apply yourself in that area of your life. We also have Virgo ruling your 12th house. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. And that's your hidden house. It's the house of mysteries. It's a place of solitude and isolation. It's the house where that part of you may be hidden to everyone but you, or that part may even be hidden to you, and your be able to explore and understand it and unpack who you are and what you are. The more we integrate the 12th house, the more we have a greater understanding of who we are. And there will be a retrograde in Virgo. It'll probably be around September or August time. I'll have to double check that. That will help facilitate the growth that you've been doing in your 4th house, in your home. So let me just see if these cards are in the right order. So we have the Eight of Wands in the position of the Mercury retrograde. This is about speed. This is about change. This is about very fast momentum. It's about keeping up with challenges and helping you be busy, very busy during this period. We've also, as I said, have got that we've had that Mars retrograde, so they're feeding energy into each other. So there's been a hecticness, a busyness, a desire for change that's been building. And with this card, it's about taking note of what's worked before and what hasn't, having awareness of how to apply this drive and passion to make change, this speedy change and how to apply it now that Mercury's going direct, and putting this passion and this drive more into a productive form, which is wonderful, because then we've got for Mercury going forward, we've got the Nine of Pentacles. And I love this card because this implies putting in the hard work, making the right choices in order to get to this position where you're able just to chill out in your garden and hang out with the birds and chat with them. Like, she's very grounded in the fact that she's done the work and she's made the right choices in order to move forward, to bring about a state of abundance and what there was a word that was on the tip of my tongue, and security. Again, with Pentacles, that's a very grounded energy. It's long term, being able to bring these changes and this busyness and this desire for change into practice, and helping, giving you that strength, that testimony of being able to make the right choices. And then we have the Moon, which is a lovely card to follow after this effort. Moon's about relaxation. This is about being able just to be in your own state of being and dream and receive insights and just be. It's a very receptive card, but I like the fact, after we've got this busyness going on with the Eight of Wands, that we have this space of where you're now able to trust your instincts, having had this busyness, this desire to change, to implement things, and then have that really get grounded out, where you're then in a position where you can trust yourself. You can trust yourself to make the right decisions long term. I really love that for you, Libra. Especially because that's linked into your 9th house of your big picture long-term philosophies. This is and bringing in with the Virgo, so perhaps there's going to be some insight, some wisdom, and real dream making happening when Mercury's in retrograde in Virgo later on this year. And now I just wanted to pull a overall theme from this numerology deck. Oh, that's lovely. We've got creativity, that ability to bring creation energy and create that spark, that joy of just anything can be creative, anything can be something that brings you contentment, and this ability to think creatively to help get you what you need and what you want, and how to apply that in your day-to-day, in your home life, for your roots, your foundation. I really like that for you, Libra. Virgo rising. So this retrograde has been happening in your 5th house of creativity. This is the place of what amuses you. This can be linked to children. This is a playful house, but it's pure creation energy, and that creation energy, particularly because you've got Capricorn, that's long-term, bringing things into manifestation in the 3D world, but they may take a while. And you've had this retrograde helping you revisit what it is that you enjoy. Maybe you've been doing something creative and you've been editing and re-going over it. And we look to where Mercury rules, and Mercury rules Gemini and Virgo, and you have Gemini in your 10th house. I meant to say that the retrograde in Capricorn is trining your Ascendant, so you're feeding energy from yourself into that creative space, and you know, Virgos are known to be the editors, so your retrograde is, you know, hindsight's a wonderful thing, and it really helps us edit down and transform something into something a bit more streamlined. So that's a great facilitating retrograde that's been happening with you in your 5th house. And Gemini rules your 10th house. That's your sense of purpose in the world, how the big outside world sees you, your career. This is squaring your Ascendant, so you would have seen sort of with Mars there, maybe trying lots of different things, and in the physical plane, trying different things, and finding out what motivates you by collecting bits of knowledge and experiences in Gemini and seeing what works. So this is being funneled with inconjuncts into between Mercury and Mars. And when they're both going direct, this is going to help kickstart some momentum going forward. And we also have you're ruled by Mercury, so this is going to be, well, one of your rulers will be Mercury. It depends on other things in your chart. There are different modalities. Anyway, you're ruled by Mercury, so Mercury retrogrades can tend to have a bigger impact on you because it rules your ascendant. So we have this, it may come up in your body that you've been renewing, and we're going over your your body, and how you see yourself, your appearance, and how that's so we just pulled the Seven of Pentacles. I'll wait until I talk about it because sometimes they move them around. What was I saying? Yeah, so you might have been changing the information that you've been sort of working on in Capricorn, and with the Mars in your 10th house is all sort of funneling into your first. That's helping give opportunities and expansion and wisdom with that trine, and then that square of manifestation with Mars of how you want to be perceived, how you want to look, and how you're interacting with the world may have been changing quite dramatically. Ooh, blimey. Okay, they really wanted two cards to come out for you during this retrograde period. And the 10 of, so we've got the 8 of Swords and the 10 of Swords in reverse covering it. It is helping with that Mercury retrograde. Sorry, I think I said the 10 of Swords, but it's the 9 of Swords. It's the 8 of Swords and the 9 of Swords in reverse. I feel like with this retrograde, you've been helping work through the things that have caused you frustration, but we know with the 8 of Swords that she's not bound very tightly, and she could release herself, take off her blindfold, and see that she's not surrounded by swords. There is in fact a way out, and perhaps that release happened during that Cancer full moon. I wonder, just because there's a moon there, and how we've got the 9 of Swords in reverse, and this is about waking up from a period of anxiety and mental anguish that's been draining a part of your psyche, and this is about releasing those parts of our mental concepts and understandings and habits that we may have received through experiences in our lifetime, trauma that we've experienced, old habits that, or from ancestors or collective, that can keep, they're an attempt to keep us safe and keep us in our box, but they are often very limiting in their teachings. Once we have, it feels like you've moved past this. This is the Mercury retrograde is perhaps there's been some anxiety over your creative process, and that you're coming to terms and grounding out in that Capricorn long-term space of how you talk to yourself when it comes to your own creativity. So I just wanted to turn that reversed upside down. It was showing about not finding, perhaps due to this anxiety of not finding the pleasure in doing the work, and putting in the daily grind. This is about commitment without necessarily seeing results straight away. That this anxiety, because you've got Capricorn in your 5th house, that creative energy can take time to manifest, as I said before, that this is helping you enjoy that the beginning bit, the work that isn't showing results yet, but it will. The plants will grow, the harvest will be reaped, and Saturn always asks us to commit and acknowledge cause and effect, and how we reap what we sow. We also, in the final position of integration, is the Knight of Cups. This is the ability to defend your emotional state. This is about bringing in Cups is also very much linked into the imagination and dreams and vision. This is the Knight. Even though he's heading on his way home, it's about returning inward to find that internal inspiration, to have that energy of the Knight of charging into battle, but like using that to give yourself some strength to explore dreams, explore different things, and find pleasure in the exploration internally on an emotional level. That's asking you to commit to yourself, and it's showing you have the energy to keep that drive going, and be able to tap into your emotional imagination, and that dreams and inspirations won't be short coming to you. So I'm just going to pull a card from the numerology deck to get an overall picture of what the message is from this Mercury going direct in the retrograde period. Yeah, it's an interesting combination. It as I said, we're working with Capricorn here. There's a sense of needing to tend to the foundations to establish some long-term integrity, and I feel really powerfully that there's been a lot of clearing going on. Interesting, we pulled the health card, so I feel that that's linked into emotional health and emotional connection, especially with clearing out this energy that can paralyze us and keep us paralyzed, have that that sleeplessness, that deep anxiety that keeps us trapped in our beds with sleepless nights. That there's a more healthy framework that's going to be formed for the long term, that means that you have the emotional strength to go after your dreams, to fight for your dreams, but from a really grounded space, having done that work. After all, this is Capricorn. We'll also be having a retrograde in Virgo at some point this year, and I feel that's going to help you